The podcast which you are about to witness is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 4 friends, in particular the hosts of Podcast The Sequel. It is all the more tragic in that they were subject to another terrible film. But, had they continued watching the franchise, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see the downfall that it became. For them, an idyllic fall morning viewing became a satire. The recordings of that day led to the discovery of one of the most bizarre sequels in a beloved movie franchise, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Welcome back to Podcast The Sequel, where we discuss the good, the bad, and the continued. My name's Marissa.
I'm Manira.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Ryan.
And today, with the 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre happening this week, we are going over Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. So, I think we should start with probably, I would argue, the best one.
Of the franchise?
Of the franchise.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I don't. Somebody just has a wild card. They're like, yeah, I like the third one. I like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we do like Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Noise.
So this one came out back in 1974. So it's obviously been 50 years. I don't know if anybody else wants to start. I have so many things
Hit us
that
with them.
I feel like I know. I was like, I don't even know where to begin with this one. I mean, I definitely feel like it's, like we said, like the best in the franchise. I mean, the budget was $144,000 and it just like pretty much blew up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
30
I
million on the
feel,
box office.
Yeah, I feel like there's just I'm gonna try to like limit this because I know we're gonna have to talk about both movies, but I feel like there's just so much to dissect with this movie, and there's just been so many different like takes on it. So many people are talking about it. So I just don't. I feel like we could kind of just start anywhere with it. I know it's based off like serial killer Ed Gein, and also there's like parts from like what was going on in the time. Like there was a very weird time in history. Like there's I think I've given you a book on like that discusses parts of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yet, but it's on my bookshelf.
It's okay.
It's on my TBR list. Yeah.
Well, I was talking to Ryan about this because I actually have another book that parallels history and like what's going on with horror and entertainment. And I found it very interesting that no mentioning of Texas Chainsaw Massacre is listed in this movie, which is wild to me because I feel like there's so many different feelings, emotions, and like actual historical events happening at this time, and this kind of dictates where the movie goes and kind of how the feeling is and where a lot of the inspiration for like the script and the characters kind of come from. So I don't know if you guys looked up anything of like the time frame of what was going on at this time, or
you mean the Vietnam War?
Yeah, it was like Vietnam War. It was the last year. I was like last year of the Vietnam War. It ended in 1975. This was also just a few years after the Manson murders that just occurred. Like this is when Watergate was going on. So like there's just like a lot of stuff that are like big heavy news, whether it's just like social kind of news or pop culture, like world kind of news happening. So I feel like a lot of that filtered into what Tobe Hooper was trying to do.
Yes. No, I agree. 100%. Also, it's been labeled as a very pro-vegetarian, the film itself. Even the director stopped eating meat while directing this movie. Also found out a little known fact that Guillermo del Toro gave up meat after watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, he did. I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that too. Oh.
No, I never knew that about him, so that's weird.
He seems like a nice man.
He seems like a great guy.
Seems like a jolly man.
Yeah, that's something I would have never thought of.
Jolly was the correct word.
I don't even know what he looks like.
You don't? Really?
You don't?
No.
Honestly, he's not like that big or anything.
Yeah, I was like,
No.
put a picture of her.
Yeah.
Let's me bring up a photo of her.
It's just something I never thought about.
I feel like this movie is the one word that I always think of when I think of this movie is just gritty. Gritty or grimy. I know everybody that's talked about this movie before us, even probably will after us, always talks about the fact that there's not a whole lot of blood that's happening. There's not a whole lot of actual like like
goriness.
Yeah, there's not like, I mean, there is, but there isn't. I feel like honestly the biggest part of gore that's happening is almost in the beginning shots of the film where you're getting like little flashes and little snippets.
So I
love that noise too that they have that's going like the sparks of metal and all the chains.
I looked into it why there wasn't a lot of like gore and bloodiness in this movie, and it's because
Is it the rating?
Yeah, the director originally wanted the movie to get a PG rating because he was having a hard time selling the film to movie distributors. So he cut a lot of it out, and what we see now is the PG, what he envisioned being the PG rating of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it wasn't until I can't remember the movie distribution company that bought the rights to it. So when they were sending it out, Motion Pictures America was just like, no, this is an R-rated movie. They first gave it an X, and then I think they had to take certain scenes out, and they're like, all right, now it's an R-rated movie. But I thought that was interesting that he wanted this one to be a PG rating.
I definitely wouldn't have done a PG rating.
No.
It's definitely shot in like an exploitive type of film. So I mean, yes, I understand that you're not showing a lot of the gore, but I feel like that actually works to the advantage of the kind of the fear, I guess, that we're going for.
It adds more to like the suspense.
Well, in the way that they describe like killing, like I think at one point like the hitchhiker's talking about like skinning and like the old way of killing, like it's very gruesome. It almost kind of leaves your mind like it leaves it up to your imagination of like thinking about it, feeling it, you know, like especially like that scene where they hang the girl on the hook. Like I just always feel like my back just kind of tense up a little bit. You kind of just tighten up because you're just like, you feel it. I almost am surprised she's so skinny that hook wouldn't go through. Yeah, I'm surprised that wouldn't be. I mean,
it's that, plus her top was, or swimsuit, I don't know what it was, but was open back, so you would think it would just straight through. It's
yeah, just straight. Yeah,
holding on to it.
But I mean, like that also, you would need more money to produce that kind of effect, and then gore adds into
that.
Less
is more sometimes though. Kind of do like just hook her, and it's
like a very Jaws-y.
Yeah.
And I feel like that effect, that happens here a lot too. Like we actually don't get Leatherface until like 35 minutes in.
Yeah.
So you're kind of you're almost halfway through the movie, or a third of the way through the movie before we even see the bad guy, the boogeyman. So I
love his first like reveal when the thing slides open.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hits the dude with the head. I love that. It's just such an easy that's why I love this film, because it's so unsettling.
Yeah.
You know, like they're not showing you a lot of blood, but it's just an unsettling feeling watching this film. I thought they do stretch a lot of the scenes. That was my only nitpick rewatching it lately. But other than that, I love it. I just love what they're doing with it. I love how I feel, like just the unsettling feeling I have. I love the grainy way it's shot. It just it fits like that setting very well. It's a really good movie for like the horror genre, dude. Like Leatherface is an interesting character, to say the least. You know, that family is very interesting, and I do also like that. Like they're not using like it's a slaughterhouse, but they're using people. You know what I mean? It's like, damn. And I think that's where that whole pro-vegetarian thing comes in, where it's like, it's about meat, but not the meat that we're like thinking of. You know, it's not animals. They're killing people.
Yeah, I could go for some ribs right now.
I kind of want to pass this off to you. I know we both did it together, but in the movie, the gas station is a barbecue place, vice versa. And I'll let Ryan kind of explore it a little bit more, but we've been there.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys have been to Texas.
I was gonna say, I'll let you.
Yeah, I mean, it was like very interesting to see like where it is and like location wise. Like if you went there to shoot something, it's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. And they had barbecue, and they turned it into like a goofy, spooky shop. Like you go in and there's just like masks and stuff on. It's like a Halloween store. Yeah.
They just have like stickers, buttons.
Yeah, and
Where
it's
in
like
Texas is it?
It's like on the
in between like Dallas and like.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's like, well, we were coming from Dallas to Austin, and on the way we hit it up, and then we also hit up the actual farmhouse, and then you're not allowed on site for the estate that they go and visit. That's like Sally and Franklin's grandfather, I think. But we saw it from afar. So like I have pictures of the trip, so I'll probably put that up on our Instagram or whatever we want to put it up on. But the barbecue place I felt unsettled.
It's weird. It is a barbecue place. Like they
do sell barbecue,
and it's and the whole time we were like, I was watching because there was only 2 people in
Yes.
there. It was like an older couple,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just like eating barbecue, and I was like, "Have you seen this movie, or are you just here because you're like, well, the barbecue's pretty good, I guess."
It was so unsettling.
Just watched him like just sauce on the face,
Damn.
and I was like,
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would have eaten there.
I thought about it.
Was
I
the
was
food
like,
good, or you guys didn't eat there?
We didn't.
No,
eat there,
we didn't
but
eat.
I thought about it
I
real
wouldn't
hard,
have.
though.
I would have let you,
I
but
would've.
I don't know.
Sure, it was great.
I think we bought something like a sticker or shirt.
Yeah, it was something.
I think I
like
bought
that,
a
yeah,
shirt. I think it was. Yeah, I bought a shirt from there. So I don't know. I'm not wearing it, but
Yeah. I think I bought like a
something.
nicky
or other.
nacky some
Trinket.
bullshit.
Something
yeah,
spooky or
A
other.
little
some
Shotsky.
horror that I was like, put it in the case in the back.
I do like because me and you did the Zach Baggins Museum in Las Vegas. Remember when they brought it up in the Ed Gein room?
Yeah.
And they had like a cauldron in the middle of the room where he supposedly cooked people at. And like on the wall, do you remember the framed nipple?
Yeah, it was a framed
There's a
torso
framed-
skin,
Yeah.
and there was still a nipple on it, and I was like, "This seems."
That seems not right.
It also seems. Well, yeah, it seems. The more you think about it,
There's a lot of bad taste in there, dude.
it's,
We're
it's
like,
bad taste. It's probably 100% fake
Oh,
because
dude,
of after
yeah.
we left, we were just like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah, I'm like,
wait a
hold on, dude.
minute,
I'm like, wait.
you're gonna have somebody's nipple up on the wall, dude. What the hell?"
I'm very glad I did not go.
But they mentioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre during the tour.
Yeah.
Very glad I did not go on that tour.
It was a long ass.
I probably would. I probably
you get
would
your
have.
money's worth
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
probably
Zach,
would've,
you're doing
yeah.
a bang up job at that museum because you get.
Yeah. It's very detailed.
It was like hours and hours. We were there for like 3 hours and we weren't
Yeah.
even done yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were. I think we had to text you guys of like, hey, we're gonna
we
miss.
gotta be
like,
somewhere.
gotta
And I was
go.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we gotta
there's like 4 more rooms. I'm like,
Yeah,
Jesus.
we
I'm like, we
gotta
gotta
go.
leave. Like, how do we get out? Like,
I also forgot to mention too, like in my list of things that were happening on that year, that this was also the same year that the DeFeo murders happened from Amityville.
Oh,
I want to say they're
Interesting.
within months of each other. I
Oh,
didn't write down
shit.
the date, but I want to say it was like very soon after, like months after. I want to say it's the same year. I'm almost positive that it was. I was like, I got Mooney
yeah.
on it right
Jamie,
now.
go ahead and pull that up.
So I feel like with this movie, yeah, there's so many things. I feel like I don't believe any of us have ever done like, I don't know if you've ever done a cinema class at all.
yes.
Or have you? I was gonna say I haven't. I mean, we touched upon things like here and there in like one of my English classes, but I feel like this is the one movie that's very like watched all the time. Did you look at it?
November 13th, 1974.
Perfect.
So like a month after.
So a month after. Okay. So I had
Literally,
it reversed.
a month
So-
after.
Yeah. So a month after. So
Good call.
wonder. I don't know. I'm not saying that it inspired, but so yeah. So obviously we kind of touched upon that Ed Gein was very much a piece of this. I hate to use the word piece because we're talking about meat and people.
He made wind chimes out of genitals.
And it's it's very. There's a lot of very.
It's not great.
I feel like there's so many different pieces with, like, I keep saying it over and over again. There's so many different pieces of this movie with the whole Leatherface being Ed Gein and them eating people and Ed Gein making parts of like, you know,
furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
and
like a
I
whole couch.
don't,
Yeah.
do you guys know a lot about Ed Gein as well? Like here or there, give or
Briefly,
take?
yeah.
It's very.
So I was
psycho-related
like
as well.
I like kind of did like a deep dive into like who he is and like looked up his history when he was born, like even like when he was born and like relation to like when they timestamped the movie, that kind of thing. Like the movie, like I think the second movie came out like 4 days after his birthday, kind of thing. Like it's very. I was like trying to time everything together, yeah, just to see like is there any links or anything crazy like that. So Ed Gein was raised in a really weird family. He idolized his mother. I know a lot of like other movies like Psycho have taken from his background, his story. He really just the whole skinning people with bones and things is because I guess he was so obsessed with his mom that he wanted to make a suit of all of the skin and basically wear it and like become her, I guess.
Well, and also with
And just a
Silence of the Lambs as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
Silence of the
Part
Lambs
bits of
later.
that
Yeah, it
was-
was like a
yeah.
later movie. So, I mean, yeah, but very much like, I mean, I think the whole cannibalism thing that they touch upon is very much just one of the time, you know, like a time frame and like a stamp of the Vietnam War, where it was just like a very uncertain, unknown of what's going to happen kind of time. You have a lot of like hints to capitalism. So it's a very, I think, politically driven movie, like social events, world events movie. And it's kind of just Toby Hooper's response of like, you know, if things would have gone kind of more south, I mean, more than maybe they did, depending on how you want to look at it. This is pretty much like his apocalyptic view of like what would have happened and like how people would have possibly reacted. You know, like if there were no chickens to be eaten or any animal products, like would we basically in an like apocalyptic world, would we resort to cannibalism?
I'm good without the cannibalism.
I'm great without the cannibalism, but I'm just saying, like, you know, we don't know who's out there. Have we met all the other however many people are in the world?
From what I hear, it's a surprising amount that you wouldn't really think about, but it's more than you would think.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and I'm interested. I'm interested as well that this movie was set in Texas. Like, could it have been set elsewhere? Like, did they think about that? Like, I'm kind of more like,
because then it's like
nitpicky.
If you're in the middle of nowhere in one of the biggest states, like there's so much
ground to cover.
Like, who's really patrolling or keeping tabs on things that are out in the boonies over there?
Yeah,
that's true.
This movie also does have a big piece of foreshadowing as well when they're in the van on their way. I know one of the can't think of her name. Not Sally. I know Sally, but
what's her nose?
I know. I'm like, why am I blanking on her name?
I would like
right
to say her name is Kelly, but I know I'm wrong.
I'm trying to think of. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm blanking so much on her name. I feel like I wrote it down somewhere, and I'm just like,
it's not one of it.
I know, not one of my notes. I know, not one of my notes.
Pam.
Oh,
Is it Pam?
Pan?
Did they mention in that? I was like, I feel like that's
it's
not.
Sally,
I thought it was
Jerry,
like
Franklin, Kirk, Pam.
I know Kirk. I know Franklin. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Pam.
Anyway,
Did not
Pam.
think that was her name.
Yeah. Ooh. I wonder how many times they really
situation.
mentioned that. Well, yeah, because even when they go searching, they're not calling out for her. They're calling out for Kirk. They're calling out for Kirk.
Nah, she's already dead.
But she's reading from a horoscope magazine, and she talks about
astrology.
Yeah, she talks about astrology. She's talking about she mentioned Saturn being in retrograde, which if you look up what that means,
patchouli oil from here.
But think about it. It's the 70s. Like people were like so. Like think about the time frame where like they're in the middle of this war. It's very uncertain. People are looking to. I'm sure a lot of people look to like religion, horoscopes, like anything that they could latch onto just for like any sort of like stabilizer, you know? So like when you have her reading this, like it's very much of the times. And then also if you look up like Mercury being in retrograde or Saturn being in retrograde, it's very much a symbol of like evil is coming. So I'm not super. I know I always bring up like astrology randomly, like because I find like things funny, like just like humorous because of the things that I've come across and read and know. But I found that bit like very fun. Yeah. So I don't have rocks or any.
No, you don't.
The stones.
You mean
yeah, I don't have.
Crystals.
See, that proves it. That proves it right there. I don't have any of that nonsense. I think my last little bit, unless anybody else, I feel like I'm just gonna take over this like whole movie and just dissect it. I like the family depiction from both sides, like the Sally and Franklin, where like they list him as they gave him like a specific.
You mean in the opening?
Yeah.
You mean an invalid?
Yes.
Invalid?
Yeah, invalid. Yeah, they call him his They call Franklin Sally's invalid brother. And I will.
Invalid.
Yes, because he's in a wheelchair.
Like he's not a person because he's in a wheelchair.
Well, no, and if you look up, did you look up what that means? Or I was like disabled.
You mean invalid?
No,
invalid?
they use invalid.
No, it's spelled like unless
INVALAID. I don't know how to spell invalid right now.
God.
That was not that.
No, that's not that.
You were just saying letters.
Could you use it in a
I
sentence?
didn't even put it together.
No, they state it in the opening.
The definition of it is a person made weak or disabled by illness or injury.
Yeah.
An invalid husband is they use it in a sentence.
Yeah. And he's in a wheelchair, so we see that, which like I also question, he's in the wheelchair in the bus when they're driving. Is he not like, I mean, there's
the
brakes
on it.
But I'm just kind of like.
No, they have like in certain.
Yeah. No, I know. I just the whole time where he's moving around and you're,
There's
like,
so many
No, I know
things in the
someone
bus
When they're
scene
searching
that-
for the rest, and she's like has to push him. And she's like, this is impossible. And I would just left his ass. I'm not gonna lie. I would be
Yeah.
like, you know what? No, dude. Like, you're gonna
well, and I just wonder because like
bye.
I almost wish there was like another piece where we kind of saw like the whole trip because like obviously she's on a trip with her friends and they like even Franklin when they're going through the house and he's just like, come on Franklin, like it's gonna be a fun trip. Like did they want him to come? Because it seems like she didn't want him to come.
Yeah, because
but
he asked
she
her at
also
one point.
wanted to come.
Yeah.
I think at one point when like everyone goes missing and it's just her and her brother, he just asked her like, did you really want me to come on this trip? I don't remember what her response was.
She just
to
is
him.
like, oh, Franklin, like kind of
Yeah,
like
she
brushed
kinda
him
just,
off,
like,
brushed off the
dismisses
question.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think like from what I get from my interpretation is she feels bad for him because of maybe the
he's in a
wheelchair. I don't know.
Where were they
But-
going again? Weren't they going to like a beach or something like that?
No, I think because
gonna
of
be
so
hard
in
in the
the
sand.
beginning there's a recording of the radio and the radio talks about these graves that are being dug up and
their grandfather is buried.
their grandfather was buried there so
Oh,
they're
yeah,
on their
yeah.
way to go make sure that his grave was unharmed. It wasn't. And then along the way, they're like, "Oh, well, we have like his house is on the way here. Like, we should go check it out."
Yeah,
then
and there's
they
like
go,
a swimming hole or something.
and then like nonsense ensues when they run across the hitchhiker.
What
And
was it? Swimming hole.
no,
Sorry.
I'm at the wrong
Also,
airport.
like they go to
Sorry.
like where Leatherface is at, and like nobody's obviously Leatherface is there, but they keep asking like, hello. At that point, dude, like, come on.
Yeah, why
Just
would
like-
you? Well,
Yeah.
okay, once
I ain't
again,
going in
But
there.
at
it's
that
the
time,
70s.
yes.
Yeah,
'Cause she was
like,
asking me why'd
people-
they pick up the hitchhiker, because they used to pick up hitchhikers.
They
That
used
was,
to.
like, a
That's how
thing.
people got around. Yeah,
Well,
during
it's
the
like,
70s.
one of the things like I told Joseph like when we rewatched it last night, I was like, I don't understand like when they kick the hitchhiker out and he's just like smearing his blood.
We
Everyone's
marked
like, why aren't you driving faster?
Oh,
Like, why
yeah.
are you just like
They just stopped.
slowly like going like step on the gas and just go?
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
had
I
that
would not be
issue.
like, I would have just kicked him
Yeah.
out and just driven
I'm,
straight.
Like, get him
This
out.
was
So
a-
no, well, yeah, we have. I mean, there's issues with that and that timing in both movies. I feel like where they're just trying to stretch, and you're just kind of like, all right, we
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah,
like,
like-
Build suspense, but
Yeah.
like
There's so many.
I wouldn't
Does it
just sit
build
there and go
suspense?
like 5
Oh,
miles an
like-
hour. Like,
There's a lot of scenes
Dude,
that
was
just
that
stretched. And I'm
one?
like, ugh. Like it's
I think every one of the issues that I had with this movie is every scene that had a car involved in was like, why? Like the same thing, like towards the end when the guy in like the big truck was like helping her, was like, why aren't you driving? Why do you have to escape on the other side?
yeah, they
Just
get out the
drive.
other. I love when he
It's like,
just
why?
takes off running, dude. Like he was just
Where did he
on one,
go?
bro. He
Yeah,
just
and where
We
did he
don't
go?
know.
Yeah, we don't know.
yeah,
There's
they
no,
ate
yeah,
his
there's no
ass
record
for
for
sure.
it.
He was
They
out of
found
there.
him.
Yeah.
I also have issues with the chasing scenes.
Yeah.
So
where
long.
it's like, well, no, there, and you're like, obviously he caught up to her.
Yeah.
He's right there, and then you see him like slow down a little bit, and you're just like, dude, like, can we think about this for a minute? Like, and I know it was hot as
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like they were filming in the middle of like the summer, August. Yeah, it was like something like that.
Leatherface could have been in the film, man. That dude was running with the chainsaw for
Dude,
that long.
yeah,
Like,
he's
I'm like,
a
holy
big
shit,
dude.
his stamina is amazing.
He's a big
Well, I
dude.
mean, he's got that,
Yeah.
that strength.
Oh,
what
I
I
feel
mean?
like I feel like I was bringing up, and I got sidetracked somehow. Oh my god, I'll let you have a moment.
He's got that strength, you know. He's got determination. Go ahead. I'm
Carry
so sorry.
on.
He's strong boy.
He's strong.
I was going somewhere with the parallels of the family. We got off topic. We were talking about Franklin, and then we just went in. But
And a friend.
yes, the invalid. But the family, if you cross over to now to Leatherface's family, that whole dynamic where you have kind of like this 70s kind of ideology of like father, mother, teenager. Do you need a moment?
No, we're good. Keep going. I'm just do your thing. That's why I'm back in it. Okay.
I was like, I feel like there's like
Insane. It's not you. It's me.
I know. But you have mother, father, and teenager, and you basically have like the dad, right, who runs the gas station barbecue or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like bringing home the bacon, like literally, and he's bringing home the meat, the money, all that stuff, and he talks about it, a lot. You have Leatherface, who's kind of like this symbol of being almost like a mother-like figure who's cooking the said like meat, bacon, whatever is being brought home, and basically takes care of the house, especially with the little apron. And then you have the other brother who's just very whiny, like rebellious teenager who's like out, and you have the dad being like, you know, gosh darn it, I told you to do this. And he's like, well, I do, you know, and he's very animated and just kind of like coming in and out as he pleases. You know,
they have that whole argument where it's like, you're just a cook and we do all the work, and they just have that like,
and he's just the cook, a cook. Yeah. So just seeing that like kind of family dynamic, and then even fasting forward to the dinner scene, a very, you know, big piece, very iconic scene in, I think they always do like end up doing like a dinner scene in these movies, because I think also with cannibalism. So I don't know, just another kind of like theme that runs across the movie.
Yeah, the one thing that I found out with touching on like the dinner scene where Sally is like tied up, it took them 26 hours to film that just one scene.
Damn.
Jesus.
It's like, damn, that's a lot. One thing that I wanted to bring up, so I don't know why, but whenever we talk about like certain movies, I like to look up the soundtrack and the use of like music in the movie. And so the director was also the co-composer for the movie.
Interesting.
So he directed, co-produced, co-wrote, and co-composed the movie. So he did all the above. But specifically for the soundtrack, he said that instead of using like musical instruments, they used the sounds that animals would hear in an actual slaughterhouse. And I was like, that's so creepy. Like,
ooh,
it just added
I kind of like it though. It's like it adds to it.
Yeah. So the same thing you would hear in a slaughterhouse, he was like, I'm using it in the film.
Yeah.
It's like, it's creepy.
It
adds to the creepiness. And then I started looking more into like the director, and I saw like he gave an interview like on the 40-year anniversary of the movie, and he was like, he got the idea of Leatherface while Christmas shopping in a hardware store. He's like, can you imagine if there was a villain running around here with a chainsaw? And he was like, I'll make a movie about it. That was his whole reasoning behind it. It's like Christmas shopping. And I was like, so random.
And he just linked it to a serial killer. And
I was like, so random.
I want to talk about like specific scenes too. I don't know if you guys have any specific moments. I think Joseph, you mentioned the whole when he enters and he slides up in the door and he hits Kirk. Yeah. There is a scene, and since I've been touching on like all the themes of like, you know, hysteria and, you know, worldviews, there's a moment where, you know, the dad kind of comes out and or gasoline guy, whatever you want to call him. And he's taken Sally, he's tied her up, and he's putting her in the truck, and he gets in the truck, and then he gets out of the truck, goes back to the gas stop or whatever, turns off the light, shuts the door and locks up, and he comes back and he makes that comment. He's like, you know, cost of electricity and stuff. And I was just like, oh, he's mindful. And like the adult in me is just like, yeah, man, cost of electricity. But then I'm just like, you put that in the movie, like priorities. It's just like, yeah, it's like another like little thing of just like, oh, these people are, you know, like they're trying to save some costs.
They still got bills.
Yeah, they still got to do stuff.
They got
take care of
bills
the
to pay.
environment.
I also have to point out too, for all of these movies, and this is one of the big reasons where every time it's like this season, spooky season, Halloween season, you guys always want to go to like Halloween Horror Nights, Not Scary Farm, etc. I absolutely hate the sound of chainsaws. They're just, to me, very loud. They're very obnoxious.
They are loud.
And I know that they're everywhere at these places.
Oh yeah.
And I can't, like, I mean, I kind of got used to it with the movie. It's not as loud in the movie, but I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, when there's like 6 dudes just like,
yeah,
like,
and they just slide up to you, like right near your
chase out.
face. Yeah, and they chase
smells
you.
like gas the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not that
just
bad.
not-
It wasn't that bad this year at
No, they
Horror
don't think
Nights
they
with
had
the chainsaws. They did not
They didn't
have.
hire enough scare actors this year.
Yeah.
But we did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre maze this year at Horror Nights.
It
They-
stinks.
Yeah, well, it has to. I mean,
Stinks.
Yeah.
yeah, but
They
like,
do
it's
that.
pungent. But
Every single house or maze or whatever, there's always one that smells.
yeah,
It's always
it's
Texas
usually
Chainsaw.
this is like
Oh,
the
yeah.
4th time I've done the Texas Chainsaw maze.
Yeah.
It's always good. Like I like the attention to detail, but when he like pumps out of nowhere with the chainsaw, it's always like, oh fuck. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying that when we went one year, that same room scared the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, I'll do that thing where I'll just like wait.
There's
There's a line outside. You gotta wait 3 hours to get in this place because I'll sit there for like 10 seconds and then I'll go. Because
Yeah,
if you
wanna
don't, you just
appreciate everything.
yeah,
just
you're just
in her
walking in
line.
line. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah,
see that
dude.
guy got scared there. That scare's happening
Yeah.
there. But then I walked into the dinner scene, and I was like, oh, this is funny. It just and then all of a sudden he came out of like oh man,
It just got-
that was the one time where I was like, that shit was fucking terrifying.
I just like I
One
hear
time I was
your
like,
I hear you getting scared too. You just go ooh, and you just like run away.
I was
Like
like,
that was
ooh.
pretty good.
That was scary. Yeah, it's never like, oh my god, but it got me good.
That's fun.
The last thing that I just want to bring up with this first movie, I know we talked very much during Friday the 13th about Final Girls, and I know Mooney was very opinionated
God.
on the
Ooh,
Final
yeah.
Girl. So I kind of
That's
want to
a good
get your
call.
take on this Final Girl.
You talking about
This
Sally?
Sally, yeah. Just want your opinions on this. Not necessarily verses, but just like what are your thoughts on Sally?
Really?
I didn't really care for her. I thought she was annoying.
I mean, Franklin's annoying, but
Oh,
Franklin's
I forgot how annoying he is.
annoying, but I think like with her, it's like if I'm gonna go on a trip with my friend and my significant other, I'm not gonna bring my brother with me.
Yeah, but they're going for the grandpa though, right? Wasn't that
I
their grandpa?
still wouldn't bring
yeah,
my brother. With
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
100% on like the travels of
Maybe
like
he
why
was
he
the only
would or
one who
would
knew
not
where to
bring.
find.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew
Yeah.
where everything was. She was just annoying to me. She did creep me out with like the dinner scene when it just like zooms into her eyes, and I was like, okay, I'm getting uncomfortable just like staring into like her green eyes.
Because they
It's
do
a
it like
lingering.
multiple times.
Yeah, it's like a lingering.
I thought she was just whatever. Like I still preferred Ginny.
Oh
It's
my
not
God.
Jenny. I was like, it's Ginny, right? From Friday the 13th.
Think
Ginny,
so? I don't
yeah.
even
I don't
remember
know
at
if
this
it's
point.
Jen- it
I was
might
like, I
be
don't even
Jenny.
remember at this
Yeah.
point.
All I remember is that
I just
for,
remember
like,
Mooney was like her biggest advocate.
Yeah.
I like her a lot better.
She
I
loved
feel like
her.
I think
she
Sally
did
does a
more.
lot more. I think to survive, dude, she's like jumping out a window. She's like fucking.
She jumps out of like two windows,
Yeah.
which like how is she okay?
Like, she runs a lot.
Two-story
Well,
window.
Like,
Correct. Doesn't Jenny jump out a window or
No,
actually like
but
get
Jason
grabbed out
jumps
of?
through the window.
yeah,
like,
Jason
yes,
jumps through
yeah.
two windows to get
Yes.
to her. Yeah. So it's the other way around
Yeah.
at this point.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. And I think like at the end, like when you just see her just like in the back of the truck, just like
iconic scene.
I
Laughing.
love that scene.
Covered
That's
in
probably
blood.
my favorite scene of the movie. Is her laughing hysterically while
at the
like
sunset.
while Leatherface is just like losing his
Dancing.
mind, just
Yeah.
throwing the chainsaw up in there, like swinging it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude! And the sun's like rising. I'm like, that's a great shot.
Yeah.
Iconic shot.
I really care
I
for her.
really feel like she like her acting of like slowly diving into like fear, madness, just like trying to survive, get out of here, and like even like in the moments where for me, like if I'm terrified, right, you do that like shaking, you're like your body doesn't know how to react, so it like kind of ventures into other emotions. So I feel like she does a very good job in terms of like you can feel her fear, you see her fear because of just she's crying, she's shaky, she's kind of like just like not sure where to go, what to do, like her eyes widen, you know, like I feel like
it was creepy.
it's super creepy. You feel it. Like I feel like she is scared. So I think that she did a really good job portraying that. I
Yeah.
think I was looking more into like the final girl and like that whole kind of idea, and I was kind of wandered into this whole this whole like thought process of just like, is she really a final girl like in this movie? And then, you know, more so like how many women are actually final girls when they rely on the actions of males. Like Sally does get away and she is the final girl standing, but she gets away at the hands of a male truck driver. So like,
She got lucky that he was driving by at that exact moment.
yeah. Well, no, and not even that, but two.
He-
Like,
I
two.
know.
Dude, I'm like, he's
just
also like,
driving
Don't
Yeah.
see a
pull
guy
off, dude, yeah.
chainsaw
And he's
coming at you
like-
down the highway, and he's like, the speed limit
Well,
is
I mean,
35,
no, because I
I'm
get it.
going
Like, okay,
35.
first of all, do you remember being in Texas? Everybody there was extremely nice. They're very
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
how do you do? How are you?
Yeah, it was a
They're
great
like,
time.
good day to you. And they tip their hat and they do all that stuff. So they were super nice. So like, I honestly don't see somebody surpassing that scene and seeing this girl who's obviously freaked out trying to get away from this guy who's holding a weapon, trying to slow down and help her out to get her out of that situation. I don't like think that that's not a thing. Like even the truck driver, like she had two trucks stop for
Yeah.
her to try to help her. And you know, the one we don't know, but
Wait,
Dude,
I feel like you
I
can
don't
stop
understand
and
him
like
getting-
slow
still,
down.
I want the explanation for him getting out of the fucking truck.
Yeah, I don't
That's what-
understand.
yeah, he
that.
like went out and
The
then
other
around
side,
and then
he
like
just
I
went
don't.
straight running. Like, why just?
Well, don't forget, he
have the
grabbed like a
height,
little
just
wrench or something to
Oh,
be like,
yeah, the wrench. He just throws and hits Leatherface in the head with it. I'm like,
That guy definitely got 8.
Oh yeah.
There's
Oh,
no
yeah,
way
yeah.
that he
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
catch up with him.
Oh, no, yeah.
Terrible survival
You know.
instincts.
They
The fact
found-
that
they probably found him, like,
did he
couple
get
hours
back
later.
in the truck when Leatherface was like swinging his little chainsaw around? Did he get back in the truck and he's like, I'm out of here, man?
He waited till it was all done. He's like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, and he's like, what the heck is this? And
Take
then
off.
just, yeah.
I mean, that's a sad chance because Leatherface is wounded at that point because the chainsaw hits his leg. So it's like maybe you could kind of like, I don't know, man.
Juke
Dude,
Yeah.
Just kick him.
dude's like Ray Lewis. Tackle his ass. I don't know, man.
This is also another movie too where we get same thing as Friday the 13th. You get that perspective switch. So at the first part of the movie, you're kind of, seeing it almost from like a killer perspective kind of thing. Like you're seeing him attack them, and at the end, you're kind of trying to see her escaping.
Yeah.
Same thing as like Friday the 13th, where it's like you see the killer hiding in the bushes and kind of doing all that stuff. That was the book that I gave you. It's Men, Women, and Chainsaws. If you can find it, it's on Amazon. But it's a great book, great read. It talks about Final Girls and everything like that from that perspective. I just wanted to bring that up because I know you were a very big advocate for
I
for
still
Friday
like
the 13th
Now we know.
part 2. So I just wanted to see if you had
Genie
That's
any.
Jenny
something
better.
else we got to keep
Had
track
any
of.
thoughts?
Is like,
Final Girls.
The
and
Final
see where
Girl?
they rate.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's the
Oh,
movie scale
yeah.
of
We could
like how
go.
boring a movie is, how many times you look at your
Pick your
phone,
and
the
Final
list
Girl.
of Final Girls, and then
Ginny.
what all the poppies, every
Yeah.
movie we've rated.
Speaking of another thing that we like to bring up,
Okay.
our very first movie that we ever talked about, Alien. Ridley Scott said if it wasn't for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he would have never made Alien. That Alien was his that watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the reason he was inspired to do Alien. And I was like, why? He liked the whole like slow suspense building that was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So he tried to like, I think the right word is like emulate it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
that word.
Yeah.
Put it into like his movie of Alien. And I know like Texas Chainsaw Massacre like inspired a bunch of horror movies that we all know and love today.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would
Um,
agree with that.
like John Carpenter's Halloween. There was a bunch. I looked them up.
I mean, House of a Thousand Corpses.
House of a
is
Thousand
basically-
Corpses.
As a witch.
I hate that movie.
I do too. It's not worth it.
It's not a great movie.
It's
I'm not
definitely,
gonna
I
lie.
definitely
It's not
see it
good.
as like very much a like,
like a cult movie.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like, but like more
With Rob
updated,
Zombie's
I
wife.
guess. Yeah, I was like, that's more updated.
and
so
Homeboy from 2,
No,
yeah.
Chop Top.
But no, I would agree. Like Texas Chainsaw, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, very much sets like a very specific mood where, like, once again, very gritty. I think of it as like hot, like sticky, stinky. Like I feel like I can smell it. I feel like I can feel it. Like I can almost like, I don't want to say taste it, but like I feel like all of my senses are kind of like activated in this movie because you're just like, you're almost feeling what they're feeling of just like you're in the middle of nowhere. Once again, very apocalyptic, hot, like you're not sure where you're going. Like you're going to walk into this random house and that looks nice and like a home, and then it's really just a death den. So I don't know. I feel like this is a very like, I feel like we could have a whole episode just dedicated to this one movie. However, we are a sequel podcast and we do need to talk about the second one. So unless, do you guys have anything else to say about
My only fact was the
first one?
narrator was paid with a blunt. He wasn't paid
One
money.
blunt.
They paid him with one blunt to narrate
That's
the beginning.
so 70s.
Yeah.
paid him
That's
with a
very
reefer.
70s.
Yeah.
That's very 70s. So with that being said, I personally am going to give the Texas Chainsaw Massacre a 4.5
Wow.
out of 5. It's definitely up there. I think, like, once again, we could definitely dive in more and pick this movie apart piece by piece, but I know we have to talk about the second one. So that's what I will give it rating wise.
I would give this one a 4 out of 5. I think, like I said, like it inspired like a bunch of horror movies.
Like her favorite alien.
Yeah, like one of my favorite horror movies. I think for a horror movie in the 70s that was made in the 70s, set in the 70s, I think watching it, I could actually see this actually happening in Texas in the 70s. Like it made me believe that this is something that would happen. Like it was very believable. It wasn't like too like overly like I need a jump scare here, a jump scare there, here and here. I was like, okay, it's actually believable. Like it's, I could picture a cannibalistic family living in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
There is.
So yeah, solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm at 4 out of 5 as well. I love this movie. I love how unsettling it is. There's nitpicky stuff. Like, I forgot how annoying Franklin was, but that's just me being nitpicky. I love the graininess of it. I just love the way it's presented. I love just the way it's filmed. It's a great time. I have a lot of appreciation for movies that are like small budgets and pop off the way this like movies do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I am also at a 4 out of 5. A lot of iconic shots in that. Leatherface, Chainsaw Dan as the sun is going down, her riding away in the truck. When that door opens up and he just whacks him right in the head. Like, also with that scene too, which is really cool, is that there wasn't like a lot of like jump scary pops of noises and things. It's just the door opens, little twitchy, door closed.
Oh yeah, his little
Yeah, it wasn't like
legs.
It wasn't like I gotcha or whatever. There's not like a jump scare, but it
well,
is
there is like a
terrifying.
pig noise though. You hear,
Yeah,
like,
but
this,
it's not like it's not. Yeah, but it's nothing like.
That was my pig noise.
Like, there's no suspense music when it happens. It's like, oh,
Yeah, it's just like silent.
happens.
It just
Yeah.
you hear a noise, boom, you're done, and you're done.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a very iconic movie for sure.
I was telling Ryan too. I totally forgot. So I don't know. I know you're not on Facebook. I don't know if you. I know you're not either. But Facebook does this thing where it reminds you of like memories from like years ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I don't check it very often. I only check it for like our family stuff. But I was reminded 2 days ago that 7 years ago, 2 days ago, I actually saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the Frida Theater. I saw it on a big screen, so I was like, that was fun, like a good experience. I was like, look at this timing happening. Just, that was the 49th anniversary. Now we're 50th, but so that was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So now we'll go into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Is it Part 2 or is it just 2?
Just 2.
It's just 2. Sorry,
Yeah.
I keep saying.
I mean,
part
this whole
2.
movie is just a big number 2, but
A big stinker. Yeah,
I
a big
said,
stinker.
it's a big number 2.
Um,
Am I right? Solid joke, huh?
My greatest fun fact that I wrote, and this is like at the top of my list, is this movie came out 4 years before my birthday.
Oh yeah.
Came out August 22nd of 1986. And it's been killing it ever since. Pun intended.
Budget of 4.3 million to 4.6 million, only made 8 million. So we had 140K for the first one. Now it's in the 4 millions for the second one, and only made 8 million in the box office.
It's rough.
Not great.
No.
No.
So the one thing I want to bring up, my biggest thing where I already lost interest in this movie is watching when we came to the opening scene of the second one. So in the opening scene, when they have like the whole narration thing, it says like whoever narrated, I didn't look at who, if it's the same narrator, whoever it is, they say like, they give like a recap of the first and they're like, yes, and they were driving a Volkswagen. I was like, no, they weren't.
Volkswagen,
They were driving a Ford minivan, whatever it is, whatever type of car it is.
It
Like
wasn't a Volkswagen.
It wasn't a
Her point
Volkswagen.
is. Yeah,
Combine.
it was not her.
We were
Not
so
a
my
mad
point.
at that. I'm like,
I was
Jesus.
so mad. I was like, wait, pause. We need to watch the first one again. I just need to see if it is a Volkswagen. I was like, it does not look like a Volkswagen they're driving. But that was already, it set the precedence for the movie for me already.
Yeah, the laziness of.
Yeah. I agree. I think like back to your point with them having a bigger budget, I feel like with the director, he kind of just had like free reign. He's like, well, I have all the money now. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. And I think it adds up to, with this one, I felt like there was a lot of more goriness and more bloodiness than the first one did. And he's like, well, I can do whatever I want now. So he kind of just like put a lot more effort into the building up like the goriness of it. Comparing it to the first one. That was my
Well, yeah,
main
when
thing.
Canon Films financed it, they thought it was going to be a straight horror film. Like the first one, it kind of, it's more goriness, but it kind of sways a little bit away from like the unsettlingness of the first one. Like there's more blood,
Yeah.
but it kind of feels cheaper to me almost in a way. And even though it's a bigger budget, like I didn't like the
It
way
took away
was.
from the suspense for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it I felt like it leaned a little too much on that weird zany.
Very campy.
Almost,
campy,
but it
not
was
campy. No, zany's a
kind of
good
like
one.
how
No,
House
zany's
of
a
a
good
Thousand Corpses is, where it's like a zany kind of weird dark humor. They kind of do that. I don't know. It just felt. Yeah, I agree. It felt weird. It wasn't shot the same.
No.
And I want to say Toby Hooper wasn't even going to be the director at first, but he just kind of fell back into that role.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We can't
I feel
afford to get another director, I thought.
Yeah, he came back to direct it and also co-compose it this time too.
Yeah, the music was real weird too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
it's
gonna
very
lie.
it's very 80s.
It is very, 80s,
yeah.
but it was very like daytime soap
Yeah.
opera-y kind of.
I laughed when I heard. I think it's Wango Bango.
Wango Bongo.
Yeah, that one. I was like, oh, why the fuck
It's like Wango Bango.
Yeah.
Is that a band name? Can
Yeah.
we take that?
Wango Bango?
Wango Bango.
I think
It sounds like a festival.
I think
Yeah.
Butterfly Bowser is in that.
Bowser?
Bowser.
We in Wango Bango.
To this day, we
Um,
bring up Butterfly Bowser.
Uh-huh.
Like every now and
Boucher.
then, it was like, "Bouch."
Bowser.
So I feel like this movie is very much just like 80s satire, like from the top to the beginning. Like it's just like saturated in like 80s clothing, music,
Yeah.
comedy, like, and it's I like even to the point where like the cover of of the movie is just very like the poster, whatever cover, is framed after Breakfast Club, like very which I feel like there's something there, because to me Breakfast Club is not like a comedy.
No.
It's a
Oh, yeah, that's-
it's a drama coming of age, and I feel like this is not that at all. So I'm kind of confused, but they're making fun of Breakfast Club, obviously. I will say character wise, they have some pretty decent names in here, and they're not like, this is not the highlight of their career by any means, but like they are great actors. So I feel like kind of have to shout out to them. What are you pointing
Shout
at?
out to who?
I will shout out to Dennis Hopper. I will definitely point out. I think he's like the biggest name. This is like a couple years after Easy Rider, which is arguably I think his most well-known role. I mean, he was nominated for Academy Award for that role. I did read something that said that he said before he did Super Mario Brothers, this was his worst movie that he had been in, which is so sad because I feel like he's giving a decent performance. I said that very
if you
like
really look at his whole
loosely.
career, though, it's like, okay, you were in this.
He
you
does
were
some
in-
wild, like Blue Velvet. Yeah, like Blue
Yeah,
Velvet
I-
was pretty wild. But no, I would consider him like a good actor. Like he's been
Waterworld,
in. Okay, maybe not. Now that you hit me with
Super Mario
Waterworld.
Brothers. I mean, I'll keep going.
I was trying to go more like Easy Rider.
Sure, great.
Even what was it? I think he did.
You said Speed earlier too.
Okay, now you're just now it's making my point even
Oh, I
worse.
was just
So one great movie.
So he did one good movie.
And everything else was tragic. dude.
and then wait, wasn't even Bug's Life, or am I thinking of someone
No,
else?
I think that
Who's
you're
in
thinking
Bug's
of the
Life?
character whose name is Hopper.
Yeah, you're thinking of someone that we cannot mention.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, no.
God,
Never
that
mind,
got
never
so dark. But Bill Moseley, I will also mention. So he got this role because he did an impression of I keep forgetting the character's name in the first one.
The hitchhiker,
Yeah, he has a
Nubbins?
name.
Nubbins.
Nubbins. Is it Nubbins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
revealed in this movie that.
Oh,
they
that's right.
revealed
Yeah,
his
that's right.
name,
That's right. Yeah. So he did like a short film where he was doing an impersonation of that, and I guess Toby Hooper.
It was called the
saw it?
Texas
Oh, Bill
Chainsaw
Moseley.
Manicure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Mosley? Is it Mosley or Mosley?
I have no idea. I just
I,
Mosby?
based on how it's spelled, I did
it like
Mosley.
Bosley, but I just go Mosley.
Yeah, I said Mosley.
I went Mosley because there's a football player that has like CJ Mosley.
I wonder from what's it called? Charlie's Angels, like Bosley, Mosley.
Wow. Yeah.
It's Mosley.
Let's give it a flair to it.
It's
Mosley
Leviosa. not
I know.
Leviosa.
But he was in House of Thousand Corpses. Eventually,
Yep.
he went on to do that. He's like unhinged.
Yeah.
I mean, that character is unhinged, and I definitely like think that he fits that role really well. I mean, I find him just absolutely repulsive, and the hanger, and he's like scratching his
Yeah.
Sonny Bono.
That really
Yeah.
made me laugh. Oh, damn it! You ruined my Sonny Bono wig. I was like,
He's
that's kind of funny,
not
actually.
good.
That's good.
And then Caroline Williams, who plays Stretch, the radio DJ. I think she's good at times. I think she does a decent job where you kind of feel her fear at certain moments. She does like that kind of like shaky, uncertain, what would I do in this situation? I'm just kind of go with it until I can escape really well. She's in some bangers. She is in Leprechaun 3, Stepfather 2, Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one. She was in that. Hatchet 3, and then Sharknado 4.
Oh God.
Great
Wasn't she
career.
in like Days of
What a
Thunder
resume.
too?
She does like small bit like parts here and there. I think the world considers her like
Character
like
actress or something?
like a scream queen. They consider her that because of all of her
That's true.
listings.
I mean, and then what you just said too, like Hatchet
Yeah.
3 and all that stuff.
But it seems like she's a very like sequel horror queen, so I guess she could be like our sequel horror queen.
Yeah, because those are all sequels. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
literally,
saying.
yeah,
Like
one, yeah.
she's done a lot of like
3,
2s,
2,
3s,
yeah.
4s. So
We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. I think she
Top
does fun.
contender
Like
right
I
now.
don't. I root for her. Like I root for her to get out of that situation. I think that she makes some like choices where I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I would have done that. But once again, it's 80s. People were kind of leaving the door unlocked. Like they weren't like. I think LG goes to get coffee for them or something and just leaves her alone with all the doors unlocked. But then he comes back and he's like, well, the door's unlocked. And you're like, yeah. But you left.
Yeah.
And then you
so-
mentioned something after that all that stuff transpires that when she gets in her car, she just left her keys in her.
Yeah, she just
open
left her
Jeep.
keys inside the
wide open.
ignition.
That
yeah.
was my
middle
biggest
of
issue with
Dallas.
the film. These characters are stupid as hell, dude.
Yeah.
And like they
I
are
mean, I think
mostly in
that's
horror
supposed
movies,
to
but
be,
this one
yeah.
I'm just like, I'm like,
They're stupid with stupid names. I could not get behind
But I
their
think,
names.
yeah. Oh, like the stretch LG.
Stretch.
Lefty,
Lefty.
chop
Chop
top, stretch.
top.
I was like, why?
Well, chop top makes sense because his top is chopped.
That's true.
So
I just couldn't.
You got that plate.
got that plate from
Nam.
From Nam. This is the first time we hear the term Leatherface said by Chop Top, which I did not like. I almost like for the longest time I always thought that Leatherface was something that just like the fans created, that they had just been like, oh, his face is made of leather, let's call him Leatherface. And like I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like, but when he says like, oh damn it, Leatherface, and you're like, I feel like it's just so forced. And I did not like it.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone refer to Leatherface as cute until right now.
Yeah, I was about to say this.
I was
Well,
like,
like no, I liked it cute because I, for some reason in my brain, I was like, oh, the fans of the original like called him that, like they like gave him a name, because I don't think he's called Leatherface in the first one. I want to say like it's kind of like Halloween where he's called like the Shape or something, or like you know, like the something.
Well, I mean,
he calls him something in the first one. I just don't remember what, because when he's getting the grandpa from
He
upstairs.
calls him Bubba.
He
No,
calls-
he calls him
say
Bubba
that
in the
a
second
lot.
one. No, he calls him Bubba in the second one.
Oh, I call you Bubba.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I watched the second one for the first time.
no, that's out there.
No, yeah, now it's the
people
universe.
know
Yeah,
that.
now people know. Now people know.
Better than the other names.
This podcast pops up like, oh, where's Bubba at? Oh, I'd be so fucking
Hey,
mad.
Bubba not here right now, man.
Bubba ain't here.
Bubba.
Just come with the bucket hat on every time. Good old Bubba.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like my favorite character is LG. I feel like I wish I would have gotten a little bit more from him.
He just spits a lot.
He does spit a lot. Very Texan. Yeah, like. But
Yeah,
he,
they really doubled down on the Texas stuff in this one. There's a lot of Texas references.
Yeah.
Like the Shiner Bock.
the Shiner Bock one.
There's
Yeah,
Big
beer.
Red and somewhere that on the dinner table in that scene.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
There's Big Red there. Apparently, that's a big. I mean, the only thing they were missing was Dr. Pepper. So.
Is Dr. Pepper Texas?
Is it?
I guess I never really thought about it or
believe so, yeah.
realized.
I
or
mean, you
whatever.
can fact check that if you want out there in the world, but
I mean,
I'm pretty sure
yeah.
it is.
And then I think there was a lot of times I saw this movie without you, and then I kind of watched bits of it with you. You watched it a few hours ago, and the whole time, what? It doesn't matter.
Throw me on.
No, I'm not
for
throwing you
the
under
for the
bus.
optimal refresh
The
rate.
fresh,
It's
yeah.
fresh in
Fresh.
the mind.
The
Yeah.
yeah, certified fresh.
Certified fresh.
Well, no, but during the movie, I remember you just go like, "But why? Like, why?" And just like all these whys, and I'm like, and I'm
Just
just like, they're
never-
gonna. Well, no, I was like, part of
why?
these, I'm like, he's gonna explain it, like where he's just like, is he like their father? Like, is he Sally and Franklin's father? And I was like,
well, they only mention it like when he's at the. Well, first of all, that those two guys in the beginning of the movie. The first note that I wrote was, "It's like I can't wait for the one guy with the glasses to die because his fucking laugh is so annoying." Like, he did that little weasel laugh. You know what I'm talking
how's that
about?
go?
You know, he was just kind of like,
Oh my god!
the fucking for like 20 minutes.
You're gonna go that hard with the
Oh,
I
you
know
have
you
to.
went so loud.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for how loud it was
Oh
gonna
shit. That's Billy Madison reference, by the way.
be. Oh my god!
Yeah, how'd that go?
Whoever's editing, I'm so sorry.
You might have to
Sorry,
put
Joseph.
headphone warning right before that one.
That's gonna have to be the quip. That's gonna have to be the quip, dude.
Clip of the week. Oh, dude, I couldn't wait till they died. But then like Dennis Hopper is at the scene of the he can't go back into yeah.
He gave me like the one.
So yeah, and then he says, "Oh yeah, because the kids." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "You're related to them somehow? Like, it was you the dad?"
Yeah, it's
And
the
you're
brother.
like, "No, they'll explain." Yeah, at the end of the movie.
The end of the film.
Sometimes you just gotta wait. You gotta let it simmer, and you're like.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they gave him like a purpose. Like because he felt to me his character felt like so involved and like he wanted to catch this guy and like do all this stuff, and he felt personally like affected by these crimes.
He was
so
like
I
the
was just
Tommy
like
Jarvis
they
of
needed
Texas
to almost
Chainsaw.
connect him to like this, and then like also the fact that it's a sequel. They should have connected it to the first one besides just having the Leatherface character.
Yeah.
So, God, that was so good.
You're welcome.
The guy with the glasses, the like weird glasses in the beginning, the opening, he gave me very much like discount Ducky vibes from Pretty in Pink. Like that's what I was just kind of getting.
Yeah. I just
But-
didn't understand because it's like they're not.
They're just
in a-
bodies to be killed.
Well, yes, but their actions, I was like, they're not really like in the middle of nowhere necessarily.
I mean, Texas is kind of the middle of nowhere.
Yes, but also like I don't know. They weren't. I think they were close to the city.
Yeah.
You kind of see it on like the outskirts in certain shots, depending on how far they
Yeah,
take
like
back.
there was like how far from Dallas they were, and he's just like blasting the road signs and like whatever. But I was like,
yeah.
why? Are you
There's a couple bridges, yeah, a couple
Why?
bridges or whatever.
There's plenty of other things you could do.
But
And then why everyone was there for football? Is that what you were?
I
was the main thing?
still don't understand because she kept saying like it's a big weekend for Texas, and I
Oh,
was,
they were playing. Texas was playing University of Oregon.
oh,
something.
okay, yeah, that's okay, that makes sense.
Longhorns.
Yeah.
I couldn't like piece it together, and he kept asking me, and I was like, I don't know, like it's Texas.
Well, I
I
kept
don't know.
hearing like
Don't they
pieces of it, and there's
celebrate
like,
for whatever they celebrate.
chili cook-off right in the middle of the game day.
Yeah. Speaking of that chili,
Oh,
Oh.
why
Well,
do they
they have
put
to
it
pour
in
it in
the
the
award?
trophy, yeah.
I was like,
And then he's
why do
driving
they
home
pour
and
it in
it's
there?
Fucking chili.
Why is it in the fucking trophy, dude?
The whole time I was like, it's not gonna fit. It's not fitting. It's pouring out.
Is it his
It's
chili?
not gonna fit in there.
Is that his chili
Oh yeah, probably.
with the tooth in it?
Yeah, that was.
I'm good on
yeah,
chili
like-
for a while.
like-
Yeah, I'm good.
so I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but the rumor is that the chili that was made in the movie was made with actual human meat or something, right?
Yeah.
No?
Wait, what do you mean the rumor?
In the movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I thought you were
his-
talking.
Okay.
Well, that's why he makes that comment where he goes,
Yeah.
and we know like good meat,
Yeah.
like, and he kind of
And then
does like a
doesn't she
wink.
spit out a fucking tooth though? Like
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's why
where's
she like does this, and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, that's just don't never mind that
peppercorn,
yeah,
peppercorn.
peppercorns."
I thought you were asking if they actually like killed people. They're like, we just took fucking meat and threw them in there.
Well, yeah, because I know that they used it like in the movie, but then there was like a rumor that it was actual human meat used like.
You mean like on set?
on set? And I was like,
no,
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 no, no.
no, I didn't.
No.
That
And I
would
was
be
like,
a
no,
that's
no,
a
no.
crime.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a crime.
like-
Can't
That's-
do that.
illegal.
Yeah, this
Is
is.
it?
I mean, well, it depends.
Method
Like,
acting, man. They want to get into the character.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
did they chop up?
no, you
I
can
mean,
buy
it
like
was
actual.
it was actually Jim Saito, who's the guy who plays the cook. It's his last movie. No, he's in the scene. Why would he be in the chili?
Yes.
Come on, guys, let's get it. Let's
was
get
like,
it
wait a
together.
minute.
It's just skin falling off of them already.
Oh,
Throw it in there.
all this peppercorn.
My tooth. But yeah, this movie is super silly, super goofy. It does kind of like the same thing as the beginning, like stretching out these scenes. I know, Ryan, you mentioned during the scene where she's like, anytime she's tied up, she's not like really tied up. She's
like,
kind of
why
like,
would- yeah.
her hands are kind of like, she could easily just reach over and untie
And
and
he tied her
be
like
done.
her hands behind her back, but at the elbow.
Yeah.
So she was like.
So she was
this.
kind of like this.
And I was like,
yeah.
if you just put your hands together, the rope would just fall off.
Yeah. There's with that too. I think the chainsaws in the movie, they weren't actually on. They just used an audio of a chainsaw every time you thought the chainsaw was on. I was like, you have a bigger budget, just turn the damn thing on.
Or yeah, just take the chain off. Or something
Yeah.
like that. And then in the close-up shot, when he's like touching her leg with it, like yeah, obviously
could've
you have
had
the
it,
chain,
yeah.
but then I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was the scene where they break into the like radio station. Like I know at certain times you were like, all right, like does this movie have like a script? Because like they kept saying the same things over and over again, which like at a point, like maybe like when you see like when you hear Stretch being like, oh God, like, I mean,
No, I
get that.
It was more like dialogue between characters. Like he's like, oh, we got to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then he'd like look at the hat and then he like went about his day.
yeah.
And then
There's a lot
like,
of
he comes back for the hat and takes it. I was like, oh, it makes sense, but you could cut out the middle part or
Yeah.
something. Like,
They just needed, like,
there was
pad
cuts
it.
that could have been made.
I think
but
they
I
just
feel
padded the runtime.
Well, I don't know if they padded it because they cut down a lot of stuff from the movie already.
wonder
Because
what they would have cut
what was
down.
it? Canon was the
Yeah.
name of the. They wanted
Yeah.
it to be an hour and a half so that they could play more per day
Yeah.
to hopefully make up more money, which apparently should be more.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna cut that down, then why wouldn't you cut down other? I feel like there was a lot they could have cut. Pacing was a big issue for
Yeah.
me. With
Yeah, me
this
too.
movie.
Mine too.
Yeah.
They spent.
I think
lot
it
of
went.
time.
This movie went like 5 minutes in, and you were just like, and you just like started like
Well,
writing down.
I just like
You
I was
were
like,
so
all right, I'm
over
skipping
it.
through the credits. Like I'm not gonna sit here and just watch.
Oh, the open.
Yeah.
That's like. Jesus,
I'm like, all right,
like, let's get to
I get it. I get it. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
I did like that one scene though, where we see Leatherface like come into the radio station where he's kind of in that back room that's all pitch black. Like he was writing notes, and I was like, no, you gotta watch like this decent like jump scare, if you will, of him coming in. So I think we get more personality from Leatherface this time, even though it's kind of silly. Like he does like this weird dance with his chainsaw a few times.
You could tell it was like the guy who was like, "Oh, what did he do in the first movie? He does that." All
Oh,
right,
he
I'll
does
go."
that swing around. Oh, let's do that and shimmy him. Yeah,
But it was like a little shimmy, like
yeah.
just quick, and then he's like, "Ee," and then goes back.
Like it's a different guy playing Leatherface
Yeah.
in this
It
one.
is, yeah.
the original, they had a contract dispute or something.
Yeah, Gunner.
Yeah.
Do you want more money? Was it more money?
He said that they were offering him less, and like 10% of his cut was going to go to his agent. So then he told him, "I don't have an agent." Then they took off the 10% completely, and he was like, "Well, then I'm not going to do it."
Yeah.
He was like, "If you're just going to take it away from me, even though I told you I have no agent." Then
Yeah. Well,
no.
don't worry, guys. I'll give this to my agent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he could have done. Well, I don't know. Anyway, but I really feel like we definitely get more from Leatherface's character. I was very uncomfortable with the scene with him and Stretch, where he's like sawing at the ice bin, which like why is he sawing at the ice bin for so long?
Exactly.
And then like you get that like kind of like sexual moment where like he's like really into it and he's kind of like gliding his chainsaw up her leg kind of thing, and you can tell she's kind of like, oh okay, like well I'll play into this a little bit to kind of save myself, and then you see him like get off, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I was
still don't understand is he getting like is he, because obviously he likes her because he saves her, but I don't, do we like is that part of his character? Like are we getting into the piece of like his, so you got mommy issues? Like I mean
He has needs.
Yeah.
I mean yes, like it's very animalistic I guess, but like did we see, like we didn't really get that in the first part.
He has needs.
Like why her?
Oh shit! Yeah, I mean they're just adding to the kit. Like, where does the story take you? And they're just kind of, oh, well, we'll write it in this direction.
Yeah.
I guess. But maybe there's like some sort of metaphor with revving the chainsaw.
Oh yes, I think it just gives like, I don't know. It's just kind of almost like a throwdown of like, okay, well I guess we got to make her survive, right? And then also, once again, we have like her as the final girl. Would she have survived on her own? Because Lefty comes in and like saves the day with all of his chainsaws, which like
That chainsaw fight.
well, yeah.
That's what I was
The
like.
chainsaw
She's like, you want me to
fight
pause it? And I was like, nah, they're just having a chainsaw sword fight, right? And I was like, nah, I'm good. As soon as he was like, oh, these two little ones, I was like, why?
And he had them like holstered like little guns,
Yeah, like,
and then the third one, yeah.
The juice is out of this one. Better pull out the chainsaws akimbo. Silly. Very silly.
It's very
Silly.
silly. Like
Silly.
Dennis Hopper. Just
Well,
so
that,
sad.
yeah. And then I don't know if you want to jump to that part too. Like they just kill him off screen with like real bare minimum,
Yeah.
just from a hand grenade.
Yeah, an old Nom hand grenade. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was like, was he even standing right there? He was also on a table. And that's not really how hand grenades work.
It like, I feel like he pulled. Like, I mean, I'm not an expert in hand grenades, but like I feel like when you see it, especially in movies, like you pull the ring and then like seconds later it explodes. Whereas this one, like there was a good chunk of time.
So the way a hand grenade works.
How does it work? Yeah,
right,
I was like, I'm not an
the
expert.
pin, and you have the lever, or whatever you want to call it, that's attached to it. So when you pull the pin, as long as you're still holding onto that,
They won't.
the chemical reaction that happens within the grenade wire.
So you have to let it go as well.
As soon as you like let that part
That's why
go,
when they
and
pull
goes
it, you
ping,
throw it.
then you have
Got it.
about few seconds. Like you can cook it and then throw it, but you have a chance of having it explode in your hand.
Yeah.
It depends. I want to say it's like 2 to 3 seconds before
Got it.
it'll just pop.
Yeah, because I just felt, I was like, didn't he pull that like a while ago?
But also, like a hand grenade isn't necessarily it's an explosive device, but it's not really how a hand grenade works. It's not a big explosion. It's like a pop, but then like the thing that really gets you is the shrapnel that comes off of it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So like you could throw it away and then it'll just,
yeah.
but it's not necessarily like exploding.
I liked the setting of the theme park, the abandoned theme park. I think that's a really cool hideaway, getaway. It gave me very much sequel vibes, very like Child's Play 2, where they're in like the factory kind of thing. I feel like sequels always take place in like fun little, like when they go to Europe,
They always go to Europe.
they
I was
always go
about
to
to
yeah,
say,
they always go to
yeah.
Europe or somewhere. But I don't know, that was a fun, like it gave, you know, kind of some fun like pieces on the outside, like where they're going through that little like tunnel of like that structure. That's kind of fun. Or she goes up like the, you know, Thunder Mountain Hill to get to Grandma.
Yeah, the exit sign that I was like, wait, what?
It's so yeah, it's so strange.
Yeah.
But
The strangest part for me though is after that all, like yeah, like they just kind of. Is Chop Top dead? No, he did the Star Wars thing where you fall down that little area. You're not dead.
Yeah.
You're coming
You come
back somewhere.
yeah.
But then like she does the weird dance with it too, as it's like panning out or whatever. It was kind
A
of
celebration of
but
victory.
she did like the same like.
Oh, the chainsaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, this
Well,
is
and
weird.
you can tell that this movie does, you know, like nod a lot to the original, like with the dinner scene, and then like even the kill with LG where he's like hammering at him and his legs are kicking out, like very much reminiscent of Kirk. So,
but then still didn't die from that and gets up later. With
oh
no skin
yeah,
on
they
his
like
face.
and they like strip like half of his skin,
Yeah.
and oh man, it's
But his
how did
nose
he
was
not
still
die?
attached, which was strange
There's
to me.
there are so many questions and thoughts.
A lot of people feel like this movie was made to make fun of the first one. That's
I
what
could see that.
saw it.
could
Okay,
see
I
it.
could see that more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a
parody.
Yeah,
or
satire.
like
Satire, yeah.
like a scary movie,
Yeah.
esque.
Just like feeling like that one was way a little bit more serious. This one's gonna be more
Yeah.
the serious aspects, but with a little silly shit around it. Like
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have obviously as much. We don't have as much
For this one.
background. Yeah, we don't have as much like background info. I think this one's more purely based on like our thoughts.
vibe.
Just like what
like,
what
the
is
only
this? What's
note I have
happening?
that it was banned in Australia for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
I-
one of the
yeah,
few
I saw
things
that too.
found. Banned in Singapore and Germany as well.
That sounds about right.
I have what I consider to be my hot take for the film, but I will leave it until we get to the rating because it kind of flows with
Okay.
my rating. So I will
Oh,
leave mine till the
okay.
very end.
Do you? Yeah.
It might
Was,
piss some people off, but that's all I have left.
Were a lot of the special effects in this, was that Tom Savini?
It was Tom Savini.
Because I remember him saying that the grandpa was like his, like the best work he's.
I
ever
mean,
done.
it.
Maybe at the time he said that. I don't
There
remember
was
the exact
something.
quote, but-
Okay, I grew up like just like idolizing Tom Savini, and I feel like the more that I'm like looking at certain effects, just some, I question some of it. Like when you like the guy in the very beginning scene where the driver, he gets his like face like sawed, and then you see like his
From
face
behind.
come off, and you're like, fine, that's fine. But when they show it from behind, and just like you get little like blood squirts that like come up like this, and I'm like, I just don't.
Yeah, it was a little.
No, I mean, I trust Tom Savini because he was also like I want to. He was in I want to say
Yeah, he was some sort of like a war.
he went to war. Yeah, I was like he went to war, but I was like I feel like
he worked in the
that's
medical
appropriate.
field.
Yeah,
didn't
so
he?
he's seen a lot. He attributes a lot of what he saw in his work, and like I appreciate his service, and I appreciate a lot of his effects. But I feel like this is a little goofy, for me. That's a little silly, but I mean, it is what it is. So I don't know, but
I agree.
Yeah, Tom Savini effects. Just maybe now, like he'll have something good, but with technology, I don't know. Not technology because he's not a big. It doesn't matter. I'm rambling. So for this movie, do you guys have anything?
Not really.
I know Mooney's gonna take her little hot take and her.
The other thing I had, same Star Spangled Banner song to Poison Poltergeist plays in this film as well.
Yeah, that's another thing
that's
too.
I think that's just like an end of broadcast day that they.
But
just
it's
do.
also because Toby, I know the connection that you're
Is it the
making.
same director?
Same
Yes.
director.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting catalog to have, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poltergeist.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah. Just rough.
Yeah.
Just a little drop off after those first two.
Yeah, Toby Hooper's a little rough. And then we lost him a few years ago.
2017.
What day did? Oh,
August 26th.
I caught the day that he died, and I thought it was the same day as Ed Gein's birthday, and I was just because I'm trying to look like for like connections of like why they released at certain points and stuff. I don't know, just
Ed Gein did his thing, and then they said, "It'd be crazy if we made 8 different movies about this one guy who wasn't really that
well, it's
interesting."
it's an interpretation. Like it's not like his name is not Leatherface's name is not Ed Gein. Like it's just like they took his, his killings and they were inspired, I guess, by inspired is probably the worst word to use, but
Yeah.
their reactions of like I'm sure people will go through the stuff that they've gone through in their lives and then use that trauma to direct and like write stuff like we went through 9/11. Is that going to be turned into
I was thinking just that right now. We're going to get 9/11.
Yeah, they did. It was that Ron Pattinson movie.
yeah, that horror movie
Oh yeah.
Twilight.
Or is that there's a Charlie Sheen one too?
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
What? Where were we there together watching that?
I think it popped up somewhere. You sent
and
me
I
a
was like,
video of it.
bro,
And I'm like,
yeah,
whoa.
like just the preview, and there was like Whoopi Goldberg was in it. Charlie Sheen.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I think, well, yeah, and it was
It was a
like some
9/11.
It was a
random
9/11
9/11
movie.
which-
Yeah.
they're like in
Oh
an
my god, I
elevator.
totally forgot
a
about that.
straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
absolutely.
wild.
Well, no, and they've made movies about 9/11, like where it's just
Yeah.
about the events that happened.
Like there's
like,
one with Nicolas
yeah.
Cage where he's a firefighter.
Yeah,
and they get
I think
stuck
that's just
in the-
World Trade Center.
Yeah.
World Trade Center, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they made United 93. That piece of. So I mean, I'm talking more like, are they going to take somebody's trauma or like somebody's fears of that day, that kind of thing, and then are they going to not manipulate it, but like turn that maybe that anxiety or that fear and make another type of movie? Because I feel like back in the day, like you had horrors of like war, you had serial killers, happening, and that is affecting like, okay, I'll make this like monster who is like somewhat of a human kind of thing and making your own monster. Whereas like I feel like 9/11 is probably a poor example of like a world event and then turning it into like your interpretation of a horror movie, because it's not necessarily like a serial killer person. It's like a event, if you will. Like if we had someone, or God, I don't want to bring this up, but I mean like you have somebody like P. Diddy that's out right now.
Oh my god.
And like, can you would you
diddler.
turn
Diddler.
would you turn someone
no.
like him who's done all these horrible events and then maybe make your own interpretation of a serial killer or psychopathic?
The slip and slide killer.
With all that baby oil?
The oiler,
The oiler.
That's right. Should be the oiler.
Anyway, like I don't know. I just
slide to your death.
I'm trying. I want to piece together like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and make it something that the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre was, and just like it's somebody's interpretation of like how meat is bad, or like the events of Nam, or like their view on capitalism, or like whatever it is. And I feel like there's so much when I feel like maybe it wasn't that, maybe it was just Toby Hooper making a movie about something because he was at a Home Depot one time, and then now everybody blew it up into this big like thing to dissect, and he's like, nah, it's not that, it's just some stupid horror movie, so now I'm gonna make fun of it and by doing this. So I don't know, in all of that, I will give the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 a 1.5. Wow, damn. I was gonna say 2, but then I was like 2 and 2 was 1.5.
I'm gonna skip my part. Go to you first.
If you give this a 4,
No.
Oh god,
I'm gonna
I doubt
lose
that.
it.
Just wait and see.
I've been trying to get nicer with your ratings lately, but if this is a 4, I'm gonna lose it. I'm at 1.5 as well. I hate the pacing. Just the characters annoy me. I don't like the way it feels like a slap to the face of the original, and I love that one so much. And like I kind of understand what they were going with, but they're just like a hit and miss. Like it's just the pacing just ruins it for me. So yeah, I'm at 1.5.
Yeah.
I had it at a 2 at one point, and then I was like going down. I was like, no, the pacing, the characters that are so unlikable, the laugh, all of that, and I was like, I'm gonna do 1 just for that. There were parts that were like super funny, like the Sonny Bono wig,
Like funny how?
funny haha,
Like funny haha?
like funny haha, like do it like a clown, like it amused me.
You thinking Ryan's laugh from earlier?
No, I'm laughing at that. That's from,
Oh, that's what I was.
from
The
Goodfellas.
comment.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yeah, 1. It sucked. It wasn't great, and yeah, it's a slap in the face to the original
Yeah.
because it was so good, and that one is
It's
this one's
just a curveball, dude.
god
That's
awful.
just-
Not god awful, but not great.
But to be directed by the same guy.
that
yeah,
is
and have
just
such
kind of
two
weird-
different feelings.
It's like
Yeah.
what the hell, dude?
Yeah, like if somebody took it and then tried to do like something different, I'd be like, okay, well they strayed away from the original, but like
Yeah.
it's
that's why I'm thinking it's like he is making fun of the original because like
Maybe.
there's no other
Yeah.
reason for it to go so comic.
Which is funny that we're recording this now. Like somebody yesterday on X was like
on what?
was comparing that to the new Joker movie, comparing Joker 2 to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 because they
Oh,
said it
interesting.
does something similar to the original.
Ew.
So I was just like,
Ooh,
that's
that's
gonna
not
be a
good.
rough view.
Ooh,
But we'll
I'm
see.
not
Well, you
I'm
said it
excited
was
to see
already-
that.
We'll get there when we get
Yeah,
there.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
With it.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
sequel that we
Yeah.
will talk about one day because I think this movie's going to be.
Yeah, we
it's
can
gonna
only have
bomb.
spoilers for 2 movies.
Yes.
We'll just
One movie
yeah,
per,
we'll
per
hold on.
episode.
Hit us with the.
I'm ready.
So I originally started this movie at a 2, like you, and then it just
Got
slowly
higher
went-
and higher as
It got better and better as it kept going.
5, baby, 5.
It got
Academy Awards all around.
worse and worse for me.
Mhm.
But you kind of stole a little bit of my hot take with your little Joker too. It has nothing to do with Joker. I compared the Texas Chainsaw and Massacre and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 to Alien and Aliens.
I'm out. I'm out.
Not in a bad way. I took it as like how Alien was like a horror movie and then the second one was like sci-fi, or the other way around. I can't even remember at this point. But I compared it how like it was the same movie universe but like 2 separate genres.
I mean, one was inspired by the other.
Yeah. But how it was very different from each other. I understand that with Alien and Aliens, it had 2 different directors, where this one had the same one.
Yeah, that's wild.
But to me, it's like it just compared it to like how it's the same but different, and I just compared it to Alien and Aliens. That's all I want to say. With that being said, a 1.5.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
Jesus.
It's 1.5.
You gotta leave these Alien movies alone.
No, I'm gonna keep bringing it up.
It's rough.
She's just gonna compare every single
People are
one
gonna
we
get
do.
tired
to-
of that.
There's the
Alien
moony
shit.
aliens,
Yeah.
like
The sliding
does it rank?
aliens.
the final
I think-
girl.
yeah, I was like, yeah,
a
it's not-
different
it's-
moony
it's
rating.
not gonna
the
be-
phone pickup rating. Like, how many times did you pick up your phone for this one? Actually, because I don't remember.
Oh yeah, we gotta do a Mooney phone pickup rate.
I think I spent most of the time on my phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I did too.
It also took. So I've never watched it before. This was my first time watching it. Took me a solid like 3 days to finish it.
Ooh. See, I feel honestly like when he started watching it and I kind of tuned in when he was watching, I actually liked it more. I didn't mind it because I kind of like knew what I
was
was looking
coming.
for. I don't know. Yeah, like I kind of knew what was coming. I got to like look at it from like a different angle because I wasn't just like watching it to like, you know, I don't know. I got to piece together some more stuff, look in the background a little bit more.
Yeah.
I appreciated it a little bit more the second time. It's still not great. I still leave it at a 1.5,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just got to like really think about the characters more, their like motives, and like, you know, try to dissect a little bit.
namely Dennis Hopper's character.
Yeah. A
I just-
1.5 for me is being generous. And I agree with you. There were certain things that made me laugh. Like Chop Top to me is probably the greatest thing in this movie.
It's so annoying though.
Yes.
Super
but
annoying,
annoying.
yeah, but also
it made
like
me laugh.
Yeah.
He made me laugh. Like certain things where I was like, a little saving grace for this movie. Without Chop Top, I think I would have been at like a 0.5 or even a 1. But
Oof.
a little saving grace. Are you mad at me for my alien thing?
No, I just,
He's always gonna be mad.
It's your choice.
It's always gonna be-
You're allowed to have your own opinions.
yeah, this is America.
This is America,
Have
yeah.
your opinions.
I mean, God bless America, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So with that, we wrap up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, if you haven't seen either of these movies, I believe they're free on Tubi right now.
They're on Peacock.
Oh, on Peacock.
Amazon
They're also on
Prime as
Tubi.
well.
Yeah,
Peacock
Amazon
and
Prime.
Amazon.
Please feel
Wherever
free to
you watch
watch,
movies.
enjoy. Wherever you watch movies, subscribe.
Yeah, we're not
streaming.
We're not
But
sponsored by any of these
please,
fucks.
subscribe to us and our channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe. We're not talking about baseball right now. Good luck to the Yankees tonight. Good luck to the Yankees.
I guess.
Thank you guys so much for watching again. We are at Podcast The Sequel. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Until next time, the podcast, a show so sublime. Marissa, Mooney, Joseph, and Ryan signing off with glee. Join us next episode for more sequel revelry.